expectations.
This is just the compliance wrap up. All right, gentlemen, kind of just give me a rapid fire instant reaction. I know we've all got several notes to go through. Let me go on down the line here, starting with Mexican Iron Man. Give me some quick big point thoughts.
I learned a lot by his reaction when the Peltz question came up in the CNBC pregame. Number two, I guess I'm not getting a dividend. And number three, by looking at how he looked on the dividend, I'm going to shout out to Yellow Flash, who made a comment, not a super chat in the chat, but he made a comment that we're getting a Bob. I think we're getting a Bob psychologically and operationally. He does not look well, and he did not handle those questions well, and he didn't neither in CNBC nor it's like the guy's he's very distracted in his head somewhere else. I don't know where it's at, but it's not in the game.
Yeah, you know, there was some news out there that Iger wasn't feeling great over the summer. He may have had some health issues, and like I said earlier in the program today, I don't wish anybody ill in that regard. You know, I wish everybody health and long life. I don't want to, you know, go down that path. And maybe this is all getting to him. I think there was some information in that story or rumor that came out earlier this year that, you know, a lot of this going on at Disney was getting to him and it was wearing him down. So that does maybe seem to be a factor. I mean, immediately when he popped up on screen on CNBC about an hour and a half ago now, I said, that looks like a much more tired man than I saw on CNBC just a few months ago back in July. I mean, there was like a physical, visual difference. There was a change there in his appearance, and it didn't seem to be for the better. So I don't know what's going on there. Andre,
no, his health follows the share price. I take it,
like the portrait of Dorian Gray.
Yeah. No. As for me, I think that this was mostly uninteresting, much deflection, much avoiding of the really interesting topics, and some dancing around the most important things. I also think that, as I've said before, Disney has the most patient shareholders I can think of that seemingly don't care all that much.
So many of them are institutional.
I know, but that makes it worse, because these are institutional shareholders. They are the ones that have the real money on the line, and Disney is a company in crisis. It's in Forbes, it's in the financial trades, it's in the entertainment trades. This is what they should be grilling the company over. Like, this should be a proper grilling question. Instead, what are they giving? There's like one softball question after the other. The most interesting thing that came out of this was honestly the pregame. That was the most telling. It was the most revealing. That's where we saw Bob Iger state, like his state, as we're talking about, like his general level of comfort with the situation, which evidently isn't very high. We can only speculate what was the point of that. I remain convinced that it was all about this mystery partner that he wasn't ready to announce, because they want some positive press, because really there isn't a lot positive to announce. At the same time, they just danced around all the negatives. And when there were some questions about what specifically are you going to do to improve things, like, for instance, this one investor who asked on behalf of the entertainment side of things, of movies, like, what have you done to, what are you doing to essentially bring back the magic? He didn't use those specific words, but that was the gist of it. And he just danced around the question. He said, we have restored creativity to the... How? Where's the evidence of that? It's just a sentence. It's claims with nothing to back it up, and there's no one there to arrest him on those claims. That is what I think is so frustrating here. And it would be one thing that he basically just talks all around a retail investor who don't know too much about this, just wants some Disney for some spice in their portfolio. But these are institutional shareholders. They have their own clients. And I don't think they're doing a very good job protecting their investment or their client investments with these softball questions, given the situation Disney is in.
I would also add, when they were asked that movie question, he acted like the movies were doing great. Which
he did completely. He just danced around it.
This marketing nonsense of, well, we had the top, 4 of the top 10 or 6 of the top 10, whatever it is. I don't care. I mean, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day if you had that, but you took in less revenue than it cost you to produce those and get to that point.
And that's why he was telling, when he said, we look forward to returning the studio's financial performance to what we're used to. I wrote it down right here.
Exactly.
Point. Right. And also, just on that note, like I said, we have like the top 4 movies. You were supposed to have the top 8, and they were supposed to be topped by much, much greater margins than they were.
Yeah. Yeah, indeed. Indeed. Pro, quick thoughts.
All right.
And then we gotta get
it's time to release the bull into the china shop. Here I come.
We'll give you the quick thoughts. What we just 30-minute one.
No. What? Listen. It was not so long ago that Bob Iger said that they were going to turn down the volume for the Walt Disney Company. We did not realize that was literally they were going to turn down the volume and put us all to sleep with their ridiculous relaying of information in this earnings call. It was so monotone that it was robotic. I was convinced that they were all replaced by artificial non-intelligence. And I say non-intelligence because what we got here, folks, was a complete and utter divorce from reality. This company talks as if it's a premier entertainment corporation at the same time that it's dropped more than half of its total value in 2 years. There are people out there who are looking at the return from this earnings call. Wall Street is supposedly soaring the stock to new heights. Yeah, it went up $2. And we'll see what happens after the market really opens tomorrow. I'm not giving you financial advice, but wait 24 hours to see what happens with this thing. But $2 is nothing to get all, crazy excited about. I'm not here to poo-poo what happened, but I'm here to tell you, when the man is up there telling you that they had the biggest movies of the year, 4 of the top 10, and 3 of them are financial flops, failures, bombs, I'm not real impressed with that. When they tell me that the CapEx for the parks and experiences is going to increase by 18% from 23 to 24, but then they ignore exactly where that money is going necessarily, then I'm not very impressed by that. I'm also not impressed when CapEx is increasing by that amount and is compared to 2019, and yet they don't discuss that capital expenditures have risen higher from inflation than other areas of expenditures. I'm not impressed when they tell us that the Q1 for streaming is anticipated. By the way, that's one of their core things that they're working on. Q1 is anticipated to be lower in the next quarter, first quarter of 2024. It's anticipated to be lower, but they don't tell us why. And then they tell us that magically they anticipate that it will increase in quarters 2, 3, and 4, and that they will reach profitability. And why do I not have great confidence in Big Bobby and his 2 showers and all of this? Well, it comes down to the dividend. It comes down to the dividend, folks, because they have promised the dividend. They promised the dividend. And when we get to the point, the finish line of we're going to give you the dividend, what did we actually get? We have handed it to the board to look at the dividend. That's what you got today. They're going to give it to the board to look at it for this calendar year. Now, what is the board going to do with it on November 8th? We don't know. What amount will the board
tells them to do?
That's right. What will the board set the amount for the dividend? Nothing. Crickets. We know nothing more. They could have said nothing, and you'd still have the same amount of information about the dividend. So why, if the dividend was promised by Q4 2023, and you don't have a dividend yet, why would you believe they're going to reach profitability on their streaming in 2024 by Q4? Why would you believe anything in this company that is utterly divorced from reality and will sit there and tell you they have the most successful movies, while at the same time we all know that those were financial failures? Why would we anticipate that they are giving us the actual facts? The one thing that we know, get ready, folks, because while this may have been the most monotone and monotonous earnings report you have ever heard, a Peltz proxy war of an adversarial category is coming, and it's a Category 5 proxy war on the way.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to see, and there's a possibility there may not even have to be much of a proxy fight. Peltz might have the power just to pull it off and negotiate with Disney. We'll see. I think there's probably still will be, but it's going to be fun to see. I found it interesting that Iger made the remark that I haven't talked to him. We haven't been in communication. I'm like, damn, that's not good, especially after Ike got in there. Let me grab some of these super chats. We've got some guests coming in backstage to discuss this.
I don't get to drop my bomb here.
Bomb it away.
I said Jonas earlier.
No, I just want to point out one thing. First of all, they lost 500,000 subscribers in the U.S. on Disney Plus
in this quarter.
Yeah. Their growth was overseas. Oh, sorry. I got that wrong. Sub growth was international, but not Hotstar. That's 500,000 over.
I think they went up
500,000 in the U.S. Okay, so the thing that he let slip in there was 2 million ad-supported subscribers. I think he was saying within the last quarter. Which means that if they, let's see, if those $2 subscribers, I'm just trying to do the math here. If they got all those guys that were from Spectrum and their ad light,
that's the problem. That's it. How many of these new subs came from Spectrum when they just turned on Disney Plus to all their subscribers? 14 million subscribers at Spectrum.
They can't do that every quarter. They cannot pull that trick every quarter.
Nor can they do they can't do the $2 promotion plus the Spectrum deal. That was a gimmick, and their ARPU managed to not blow out, but we haven't seen the repercussions of that on their ARPU.
Make sure you're subscribed to Valliant Renegade and join us every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern for the live show.